stay with the developments in Rivers State. We are joined now by Igor Agoma, who is the coordinator of Save Rivers Movement and a former member of the House of Representatives. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Well, I say why we've seen this more recent perspective. I mean, looking at the Vanguard now, reverse crisis. APC asks National Assembly to block budgets. New ministers. I mean, one wonders to what extent will the APC go to see that things in Rivers normalize from their perspective, because someone does actually think that it is the APC, I beg your pardon, yes, that is the Rivers State governor who seems to be stoking the fire there, because if he had just stayed action, who knows, the police would have shown themselves for who they are, some say.
Well, you know, in 1965, we had a similar situation then in Western Nigeria when the Akintola-led action group refused that the NCNC would campaign in Western Nigeria. 1966 thereafter was a coup. You remember also in 1982, we had then the Adeusi Inspector General of Police, where the mobile police was used. Then they got this acronym, Kill and Go. What is happening in Rivers State is capable of undermining democracy in Nigeria. We believe that everybody should have a level playing field where people can sell their programs, their ideas, and let the electorate decide. We don't have that in Rivers State right now. And we've become more enlightened. People have become more enlightened about their rights.
So let me check this in so that you just continue. It also has to do with a bit of history. Just before CP Mbu was drafted to Rivers State, yes, we had people who have sent messages to us saying, listen, don't forget, guys, that the governor, at the time that the former CP was there, when GDI, some members of GDI had the meeting, he ordered them to be locked up because they said they were campaigning.
That never happened. I'll say this clearly. Let's put the record straight.
What happened?
We had PDP then in 2010 thereabouts. A parallel PDP was set up, and at that point in time they tried to open a secretariat, and it didn't happen. But you know one common denominator in that character? The common denominator in that character is the Honorable Minister of State for Education, because at that material point in time he was the Chief of Staff to the governor. The police was used to disperse those people. It was wrong. We criticized it then, I criticized it then.
But the buck stops at the governor's table.
Yes. Now, the fact that that happened then does not make, the wrong thing happened then does not make what is happening now right. We have grown, well, that is why we grow in democracy. We've grown beyond that. And the realignments that have happened in Rivers State today have brought about a better democracy.
I think that the point that you take away from Chamberlain's question is about campaigning, because you're still talking about ideas, canvassing, you know, putting your ideas out there about governance and what have you. And people are wondering, okay, isn't it too early to start campaigning?
Well, it's not too early, because you're campaigning, you're only sensitizing on the programs, the positives, and even receiving criticism to act better. Now, campaigning that they talk about in the Electoral Act, which, of course, you know, the amendment has my name on it. The campaigning there, they're talking about people campaigning for elective positions. That does not mean that the parties will be docile until any time there's an election. No, it doesn't mean.
But this is a subtle campaign, isn't it?
Yes, and you see, the crescendo is getting to the election period. let's face it, that's why GDI has freely been going around the River State, selling the ideas, the negative ideas of the government. That's highlighting the weak points. Nobody is perfect. But that same way, the Save Rivers movement is going around highlighting the positive parts of the government. So that I don't have only the negative perceptions out there in the marketplace.
I find it very interesting. You're not even accusing GDI of falsehood. You admit that what they're actually saying are the negative or the weaknesses of the government.
From their own perception. Everybody is entitled to his own opinion. That's why the electorate are to hear both sides and decide. I do not believe in their principle. I do not believe in what they are saying, but they are entitled to their opinion. And it is my responsibility to go out there and say, no, what you're saying is wrong. This is the right thing. What are we talking about here? You're talking about the schools in River State. You people did one program once from River State. You saw them yourself. Who attends those schools? It's not me. My children are in private schools. But the common man has the opportunity to attend schools that are even better than the private schools. Look at the health centers that are in many places are hospitals. Look at the roads. The infrastructural change in River State in the last 7 years or so has been wonderful, and we're highlighting those things. It does not mean that there are people who do not believe that he could have done more or he could have done things in a different way. But we believe that with what we have seen, the Save Rivers movement believe that the government has done well, and our ideas is on promoting good governance.
The question will be, why did you have to float an NGO to do this? I mean, if you're serving the function of what the political party is supposed to be doing, why claim to be an NGO?
Well, the truth of the matter is that an NGO, it could be politically inclined, it could be health inclined, it could have any inclination. The important thing is that we're not sponsored by government.
But these ones are politically inclined.
This is a politically inclined NGO. There are no two ways about it. This is politically, and it is within the rights, our rights in the Constitution, to have that NGO. It's within our rights. And so,
this is a series of the attempt at bringing two different rallies by the Save Rivers movement. Now we know that it's politically inclined. Isn't that why the police has stopped your Save Rivers movement twice? Because they believe the time is not right for any political activity of that.
Thank you. Then it should be a level playing field. Why stop on the same day you stop our own rally, you allow GDI have a rally at Elele under police escort? The next day you allow GDI have a rally on Elga under police escort. So the field is not level. What is tilting the field right now is the police, is the impunity of the police. And we have had this nature of being more conciliatory in terms of saying we are not out there to make trouble. We don't want to heat up the polity.
But some people don't believe that. They think that the Save Rivers movement and even maybe people from your own camp are out there to foment trouble. Yesterday we had Ibim on the program, and we also asked her the way forward. And if you say your group is not out there to foment trouble, are you also thinking of how this can be resolved? Because all the things you just highlighted about education, health, people need more in River State. Yes. And as it is now, it seems that all of those goodies have actually stopped.
No, they haven't. As I speak to you now, there is a new road, massive road project going on with 2 bridges that will take away traffic from Aba Road. Very massive, around the Akpajo axis. They've already dropped the 2 bridges. There are more health centers going on. I know that in this year's budget, the focus in education for this year is on getting the secondary schools that are existing now back on track.
But you need a more conducive environment for all of that to be actualized. So this is why we want to find out if you're already thinking of a way to stop this kind of insecurity, so to speak, in your state.
I tell you, we've had, before Obiakpo, we had series of rallies, right from when we were inaugurating our ward and local chapters. There was no problem. Each one, we wrote the same letter to the police, and they provided us with security. Now, if we even had an inkling from the police that there was a reason why we should not gather, we believe that they will tell us, and then we analyze it and know why we will not gather. Look at what happened in Bori. I was shot at. My car was, they were shooting live bullets. And about 100 meters from there was the area command with over at least 200 mobile policemen standing there. You can see it's just deliberate.
But you know that, I mean, there's so many ways to sort this challenge out, and you know about these amendments in the Electoral Act,
Yeah.
and you know, in fact, so if the other group were campaigning or holding their gatherings and the police is giving them protection, I'm giving a hypothetical scenario now. If that were the case, and the Save Rebels movement says, well, we won't join to gather such that they will not interpret our gathering as a political meeting, but what we will do is we will notify INEC and say, INEC, we can prove to you that this gathering of GDI, as supported by the police, is a political one. Don't you think INEC would then have a way to say, listen, you can't do that?
I must say this. Anybody that says that political gathering right now,
which is a sort of campaign,
anybody that says that political gathering right now is wrong, is not right. No part of the Electoral Act says that at all. What we're talking about is campaign for party office has a time. Somebody's tenure has to be almost up before you start campaigning, so that you don't distract him. But as amongst other reasons. But that does not mean that you can't blow a trumpet, or people can't blow their trumpet of their achievements. No, it doesn't mean that.
But if